Alright, so I'm always looking for fun and different firearms, something just a little on the unusual side. Don't get me wrong, I like building the AR platform, I enjoy shooting them, I have a lot of fun with them, but at the end of the day, ARs are basically like elephants, you know. Once you've seen one, you've pretty much seen them all. Yeah, you know, you've got this furniture, you've got these accessories, but basically, yeah, they are all the same. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that. I just like stuff that's different. So today I'm bringing you something a little out of the ordinary. Kel Tech RDB. It's actually a pretty fun gun. Bullpup 223/556 that takes PMags. Oh yeah. Before we get started, please take a moment, hit that like button, subscribe, share this video with friends, leave a comment down below. Down in the description, I'll go ahead and leave a link to my website, as always. Over there, I've got a lot of links posted that YouTube just won't let me post in the description. If you want to show some support for the channel, go ahead and hit one of those Amazon links down there. Make sure you do that before you do your regular Amazon shopping. It doesn't cost you a dime. All that does is help me bring you bigger and better content. So now that we've got that out of the way, let me start by saying I love what Kel Tech is about. Those guys strive to bring new, creative, innovative products to market. Stuff that you don't necessarily see at your local gun shop all the time. Yeah, they could go ahead and pump out the same old ARs that everybody else is making, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they try to do things just a little bit differently. Kel Tech does all kinds of cool stuff. You know, they make like the Sub 2000, which is a fold-up pistol or rifle that takes Glock mags. That's a nice compact design for backpacks or whatever. You have stuff like the PMR 30, which is a 30-round 22 Magnum pistol. That was pretty cool. Then they have the RFB, which is another bullpup design that they make in 308. You know, these guys, they just like to make stuff that not everybody else is necessarily making. The stuff that they make is different and interesting, and that's really what I like about Kel Tech. There's a lot of back and forth about the quality of their products, but you know, so far every one of them that I've shot has been pretty spot on. The PMR 30 is kind of hit and miss. Some people have great luck with it, some people don't. Maybe we'll do a review on that in the future, but for now we're going to talk about the RDB. Alright, so the RDB is chambered in 5.56. That means you can shoot 5.56 or 223 with it, whatever your little heart desires. The nice thing about it is that a bullpup design gives you a very short package, while at the same time it still classifies as a rifle because your barrel length is still, well, this one is 17.3 inches, but it's over the 16-inch limit, so it is still a rifle. Now, if you watch the AR pistol build that I did recently, that pistol had a 10.5-inch barrel. This bullpup has a 17.3-inch barrel. So let's go ahead and hold those side by side just so you can see what the difference is. So here's the 10.5-inch pistol build we did with the shoulder brace fully collapsed. It is actually 1 inch longer than this bullpup. This is going to be really hard to get on camera, so bear with me here. When we hold them side by side, end to end, the AR pistol is 1 inch longer. So with the RDB, I'm actually an inch shorter than I am with my AR pistol, but I actually have a more than full length barrel. It's the best of both worlds. I'm getting the accuracy of the longer barrel, getting better muzzle velocity. I'm not getting quite so many issues with obnoxious sound or excessive heat, and it's still short enough that it's very maneuverable. When it's in the shoulder, it's nice and comfortable. So one of the cool things about a bullpup design is you're eliminating the need for the buffer tube, which means that everything can be kind of condensed down. The other thing that they do is they move the pistol grip and firing controls forward, more towards the center of the gun. So overall you have literally the most compact rifle design that you can get. Here in the front end you have your adjustment for your gas system. super easy to get to. You don't have to take a hand guard off or do any disassembly. You just give it a turn. So the great thing there is that if you want to switch back and forth between suppressed and non-suppressed, if you're constantly changing the type of ammo that you're using, or you really just want to fine-tune that gas system, it's all right there. Really easy to do. I really like the fact that I don't have to have any tools with me. All I have to do is reach up front, make a slight adjustment to that dial, take a few shots and see how it's performing, and then adjust it in from there. Now, this is not my Kel Tech. This is a loaner. I have found, though, that it will run through just about any ammo that you want to feed it. In fact, out of the 4 or 5 different off-brand types of ammo that I have, I didn't have a single malfunction anywhere during shooting it. One of the things I really like about the Kel Tech RDB is that it will take all of the same mags that your AR does. So for instance, I have a couple stacks of these cheap shitty metal mags, and they fit. They work quite well. Any of your standard P mags also fit and work quite well. The great thing about that is that if you don't have any PMags laying around the house, you probably live, I don't know, in a cave on the side of a mountain somewhere. Everybody's got one laying around. When you buy a new rifle and then it's like, okay, well, I just spent close to $1,000 on this thing and now I need a healthy supply of mags. So now I gotta buy a bunch of mags and I gotta buy a bunch of ammo. You don't have to deal with any of that with this gun. It's using the same ammo as your AR that you already have. It's using the same mags as the AR that you already have. So realistically, buy the gun and you're probably already ready to take it out shooting. Now, since we're talking about mags, let's talk about the mag release. Bullpup designs tend to have slightly awkward mag releases. If you saw the review that I did on the BP-12, it has a mag release very similar to an AR-15, but it's basically all the way up in your armpit and it's not very comfortable or fast to use. Now, the mag release on the RDB can be a little bit tricky, but I really feel like with just a little bit of time and a little bit of training, it's actually the most efficient mag release that I've ever used. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So right here behind the pistol grip is the mag release. Not a bad place for it, really, except when your hand is on the pistol grip and you're shooting, if you're not careful, oh, there goes my mag, now I'm screwed. This is obviously not optimal when you're out at the range shooting. When that happens, I guarantee everybody is going to see it, and some may laugh inside at you, but most of us are going to laugh at you openly because it's funny. I mean, if you don't have a sense of humor, why are you alive? Now, on the other hand, with a little bit of practice, this can actually be a good thing, because with your hand on the pistol grip, you can actually bring it back without actually breaking your grip. So, listen. Okay, so as long as I'm mindful of it, while I'm shooting, I'm not going to accidentally trip that mag release, but when my mag is empty, boom, cycle the next one in. I fumbled that one because, well, I've only done it a couple dozen times, but if you practice for it, that mag release right there, it can be incredibly efficient. Now, if that's not odd enough for you, the RDB has probably the weirdest ejection port I've ever seen. So your mag insert's here, and your ejection port is actually back here. So instead of lobbing your shells out to the right or up or back or whatever the case may be, your shells are actually going to eject straight down. Some people might find that a hindrance. If you're the kind of person that reloads, it's going to be pretty awesome for you, because as you're shooting, it's spitting those shells straight down. You're going to be standing in a pile of spent brass that you can just sweep up and put in a bucket and take home. If you're totally tactical and you're wearing your tac vest with, you know, God knows how many different accessories on it, that's something you're probably going to want to keep in mind. Again, you have your gun shouldered, and if you're wearing a tac vest, whatever compartments that you have mounted in that area are probably going to be pelted with spent brass. So I would say, if you're that guy, and I'm not really making fun of you, but if you're that guy who has to wear his tac vest to the range every time he goes, you're probably going to want to rearrange it a little bit. You know, move your compartments over a little bit, do what you got to do, but you can still make it work. It's not a big deal. Now, as my uncle explained to me the first time that I shot this bad boy, never shoot it with no shirt on. You'd think that's a no-brainer, but yeah, those shells are pretty warm when they're coming out, and I would imagine if you're shooting this with no shirt on, you're probably going to singe a nipple. Some people are into that. Look, I'm not judging here, okay? But that's not my thing. So I'm gonna shoot it with a shirt on. All right, so what else do we got here? The RDB's got a full-length Picatinny rail on top. As you can see, surprise, surprise, we've got the Sig Romeo 5 on there. I'll leave a link below if you want to pick one of those up. We've got some flip-up sights. That's all cool and everything. My personal favorite, the Magpul AFG. It does have full length rail on the bottom, which is really nice. If we flip it over, it does have a side charging handle. I would prefer maybe just a knob that sticks out a little bit rather than one that folds out. But I think, you know, a couple thousand rounds through this thing, and I would just be used to it, really. Most of the time when you have a bullpup gun, the triggers are absolute garbage. And the way that they work is this. You have your trigger here. It comes up to a bar that comes back here that actually does all the business work back here. Usually when you pull the trigger, it's all or nothing. They're usually really heavy triggers. They feel real gritty. Not the best that's out there. This one actually, it's real close to what is in my AR pistol as far as how smooth it is. I actually like the trigger on this bullpup. You've got multiple spots on it to go ahead and mount a sling if that's something you're into. The safety selector has a good positive click to it. You know, honestly, I don't have anything negative to say about this gun, which anybody that knows me should be surprised right here. Insert surprised comment, if you will. Actually, the rubber on the butt pad, generally when you're talking about a bullpup gun, they like to save a little bit of money there. The rubber on the butt pad is usually pretty thick. It's not real soft, not real comfortable. When I shoulder this, I get it in place, honestly, it feels really good. I would say that almost feels better than the stock on my standard AR, which is kind of saying something because I love that one. One thing that I do wish Kel Tech would do, almost every one of their guns has the exact same almost checker pattern pistol grip. I really wish they would kind of go away from that and create a system to where you could upgrade the pistol grips to any old Magpul pistol grip that's out there. Maybe we'll see them do that in the future, but I really doubt it, because if you look at their guns, they all have this exact same pistol grip, and it's not horrible. It really isn't. You know, if you're a real stickler for these things, you could probably go ahead and get yourself a soldering iron and do yourself a little home stippling job, and it'd be perfect. So overall, the RDB is a great gun. You know, you're getting a full-length barrel in a very compact package. It's reliable, it's accurate, it's comfortable to shoot. Ergonomically speaking, everything is in a spot where it feels like it should be. You know, a lot of guns have features that feel like they're afterthoughts. This one, honestly, the position of everything from the safety selector to the mag release, the bolt release, everything feels like it's where it should be for the most part. So really I have no complaints. The RDB is really hard to find in gun stores. I think I've only really seen one once, and that was a couple of years ago. You can find them online pretty much all day long. If you've got the money and you're in the market for something that's a little bit different from your standard AR, try to get your hands on one. Genuinely, I feel like they're worth every penny and then some. So that's going to be it for today. I think next we're going to be doing a review video on some 1911s, which is going to be a little strange for me. They're usually not my thing, but I have found a couple that are pretty sweet, so maybe we'll work on that next.